Hello and welcome back to another episode of Stu's Reviews. Now you all know how much I love books, hence the library. I mean, this might surprise you, but this is all indeed real. Now, I could read this, Horn on Psalms. I could read this, the Cascade of Literature, or I could read about Europe in the 17th century. And if I wanted to do all of these, potentially whilst going on a holiday, well then it takes up a significant amount of room in my bags. I mean, this is just 3 books. Well, today I'm going to take a look at this, the all-new Kindle Paperwhite. It's important to say that I've never used a Kindle before, so this review will be in the form of a fresh eyes perspective and not a comparison against older models. The 4th generation Kindle Paperwhite has a backlit e-ink Carta HD display that was first introduced to consumers back in 2014. The screen size is 6 inches, is anti-glare and is pretty detailed at 300 ppi. Amazon don't state exactly how long the battery will last on a single charge, but they do say that supposedly it can last for several weeks before needing to be recharged. It's also the thinnest and lightest Kindle Paperwhite they've made so far, with a width of just 8.2mm and a weight of 182 grams. There's only one connective port, a micro USB on the bottom, and one button for power and sleep-wake functionality. Now the immediate thing that springs to mind is that it is extremely light and extremely thin. It feels well built, it feels very rugged indeed, and I guess it has to be, because supposedly it's waterproof, which I'll get onto in a bit. But actually it feels like quite a solid build. Lighter than expected, mine. Much lighter than expected, but still quite rugged. One criticism about the design, however, is that, well, first of all, I hate massive branding on the back, the word Amazon there and the word Kindle on the front. It's all a bit much for me. But my big criticism is this matte back here. It's like a matte finish. Now, that's fine, and it makes it nice to hold and feels okay. But it scratches really easily, it marks very easily, and it also picks up oil from your hands. If you've got greasy hands or oily hands, it picks it up, and even if you don't, like me, it still picks up oily marks really easy. Have a look. So you can see what I mean on the back here. You can see a lot of the marks that are picking up with the grease at the back there, at the bottom. Can't really see any scratches, a bit down here, a couple of scratches down here from just putting it down on the surface. So overall, the back isn't the best, but it feels nice in hand. And that's what's important, I guess. There is one more criticism that I have, and it's where they've decided to put the on-off button, which is on the bottom here. Now, the bottom is primarily the bit that you touch the most other than the sides. Because if you think about it, you might be lying in bed on your chest or something, or on your bed covers, and it's pressing against that button here. You might also be holding it like this, and if I'm holding it like this, my finger is actually touching the button. You can see it's doing things already. It just seems like a bit of an odd placement for a button. I mean, no one ever touches the top of these things, which is why so many tablets have the buttons on the top. To be honest, Amazon, if that's something new and that hasn't been in your previous Kindles, I don't think that's a very good place. I would advise moving that if you can. But it's a small gripe, to be honest, for me. For me, I hold it mostly with one hand like this, and I use my other hand to swipe pages, which I'll get into in just a second. So it's not a massive deal, but for those with smaller hands that might want to rest their hands underneath like this, I can imagine that becoming a bit annoying. Okay, so the real question is, how well does it function? Now, obviously its main function, its primary function, is to replace all of this behind me and allow me to read a book. Let's have a look. Now again, one issue with the matte display is that it does pick up fingerprints quite easily, especially on this black surround here. So maybe black's not the best colour in the world for it, but it's not too bad. Anyway, we're here to talk about the display. Now this is cool. It just looks great. Now, to unlock it, as I said, is at the bottom here, which is a bit odd, but by pressing it you get a little light to show it's activated, and here we go, we're on the time machine. Now, you can do a number of different things from this. This just shows you where I left it at last. Now, if I tap on the right hand side of the display, it takes me forward. If I tap on the left hand side of the display, it takes me back. Oh no, God, I've gone to the web browser now. I don't want to do that. Go home. Now, it does have a weird form of experimental web browser on this, which doesn't really work that well, but we're here to test the actual reading functionality of this. So let's just dive in. Now here, we've got a list of all of the books that we have downloaded in my library. So I can go in here. Now, some of these books are not mine, just to let you know. So Fat Chance or Lust, Lies and Lemon Cakes 2, they're not mine, I promise. Instead, let's take a look back at the time machine. Now, if I pop back into this here, again, I can tap on the screen to go left and right. Dead simple, or I can swipe as well. That works too. And to get the menu up, I tap the top of the page, like that, and I can get some information about the page display. I can go to different points in the book by tapping here. Overall, it's pretty good. I mean, it's not the snappiest of options, but then it's not something like an iPad, is it? It's a Kindle. It's meant just for your books. Now, at the moment, I think we're on about half brightness, so let's see if we can change that. Settings. Yeah, they were on half brightness. So if I want to turn all this all the way up, there we are. That is extremely bright. And all the way down. That's with it off completely. And with it off, it looks great. And it just reflects the natural light of the room. And it's quite nice. To be honest, I do like it a little bit up. I'm going to put it back up to halfway, because that for me is about right, I think. But the customization options are pretty good with this. So we go to all settings, we can change lots of other things as well in here. But if we go back to the book, the most important thing is being able to change the way the text looks. So if we go there like that, we go font and page settings. This gives you so many options to change the way it looks, which is really important because everyone reads differently, everyone's eyes work differently, and actually, you know, if you prefer a different font, you prefer bolder writing, or you prefer a larger size, I mean, if we just take it all the way to the top, like that, you can see that is pretty much perfect for a lot of people there. So if you are a bit hard of sight, then this is ideal. Put it back to the right thing. 3, no, 4. There we are. 4's about perfect for me. Now, one other thing before we move on as well, it isn't just useful for books. You can use graphic novels in here as well. So I've got here, let's have a look. V for Vendetta. Here we are. Which seems to work quite nicely. Although one thing I would say is the writing is very small, which obviously can't be changed because this is a graphic novel, so it's all hand-drawn. So instead you have to zoom in, which works, but it's a bit slow. It's not as snappy as I'd like, but it does work, so you can indeed use this for graphic novels. Now, there was an issue that I found earlier with using graphic novels in this, is that for whatever reason, it sometimes shows some of the text underneath. Now, if you watch this side here, look at this writing here. If I go to this page here, I don't know if you can see this, but in the grey, you can see a little bit of the writing from the previous page. And if I just flick back, you'll see what I mean. So there's the writing there. If I flick across, do you see it? It's very, very faint. And if I go to the next one, this is apparent. Okay, so look here. V for Vendetta, and there's nothing in this area here. If I go to this logo, then go back, you can see it. Look, you can see that in the background there. So that's quite apparent. And it only seems to happen when there's big, dark, bold colours on the display. And it's obvious that that isn't meant to be there, because if I go to this page here and then back again, you'll see that that's gone, and now there's a line in the middle that matches that line there. So it is a bit annoying, but you only really have it when you're looking at things like graphic novels with lots and lots of bold colours. If I go to something like the Time Machine here, let's go back into that there, you can't actually see the text cross over from page to page at all. There's no other text on there. So, very odd, but it happens. Overall, actually, I think it's pretty good. The quality's not bad. I mean, in terms of the display, it's okay. Yes, it's got a few tiny little issues, but they really are quite minuscule, and most people wouldn't notice them. And I really guess it really depends on what it is you're reading. Now, one thing that this is supposed to be, which I don't think any of the other Kindles were, is it's waterproof. And it has a rating of IPX8, I think, which means that this can go in the water up to 2 meters deep for 60 minutes. Which I think is great, because it means that you can actually use it when you're out and it's a bit wet or it's a bit rainy, you're not afraid of getting some water on it. You can use it when you're on the beach or when you're by the pool, or you can even use it in the bath, for example. And I could be reading a passage of The Time Traveller. Let's start at the beginning, shall we? The Time Traveller was expounding a recondite matter to us. His grey eyes shone and twinkled, and maybe I get so deep in this book that I accidentally drop it in the bath. Like that. All I need to do really is find it, give it a shake. Nope, it skipped forward a page. Let's go back a couple of more pages. Oh, it skipped forward a few pages. Where are we now? There we are, back where we are. Okay, give it a bit more of a shake, it's still a bit wet. And let's carry on, shall we? The fire burned brightly, and the soft radiance of the incandescent lights and the lilies of silver caught the bubbles that flashed and passed in our glasses. Excuse me. Now, for this reason that you can use it in a bath, I think this is incredible. Because you drop one of these in the bath and it's not going to come out looking like this. It's going to come out in a sopping wet mess. It's a no-brainer. Don't take one of those in the bath, take one of these in the bath. I mean, even if you took something else like your iPhone or, I don't know, another form of tablet, it would definitely end up broken. Or you'd end up injuring yourself somehow. But this, I don't have any fear of using in the bath at all. So it's quite good, really. Let's talk about the price. There's a couple of options and models to choose from. First of all, this is in 8GB and 32GB, and you can also buy Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi cellular, but the basic cheapest price that you can buy it for is £119. But this is where it becomes a little bit confusing. And this is where Amazon is a little bit sneaky with this, so you need to listen to what I've got to say if you haven't bought one of these already. So I have here the Amazon website up on my phone, and you can notice here that I've chosen a simple option. We've got the Wi-Fi only, 8GB without special offers. Okay, and it comes to a price of £129.99. That's without special offers. Now, if I tap on this here, I get the option of buying with special offers, which takes the price down to £119.99, so a saving of £10. Now, what does this mean? Now, in my head, when I was originally looking to buy one of these and try it out, I thought, oh, it must be a special offer, it's £10 off. But hold on a minute. Why are they still offering the more expensive option without special offer if they've got a special offer? Who would buy that? That makes no sense. Anyway, I did some digging, and actually, I found out if you buy this option, the Kindle Paperwhite with special offers, you'll get loads and loads of pop-ups with special offers from Amazon popping up on here, which is not what you want. Now, I've got no experience of this myself, so I can't turn around to you and say how that actually looks, and I can't show it you because I didn't fall for it, and I went for the without special offers. So I paid £10 more for the privilege. If you've accidentally bought the one with the special offers, so you are getting loads and loads of pop-ups, you can in fact deactivate that by paying £10 through the online store. But to be honest, it's just a bit annoying, and it's a bit subversive if you ask me. It just seems quite sneaky that Amazon word it in such a way. Actually, let's have a quick look and see if we can find on here if it tells me what buying it with special offers entails. No. Make it personal? No. No. Technical details, will it be in here? Cloud storage, start, no. Nothing. Documentation? No. Warranty and service? Nothing. So they hide it quite well. Oh, is it on here? All Paperwhite? Battery lasts, special offers, nothing there, connectivity. I don't know. Put it this way, if they have listed it on their website, they haven't listed it in the most obvious way, which I think is massively sneaky of Amazon. So what do I think overall? Well, do you know what? As somebody who's never used a Kindle before, I think it's great. The display looks really, really nice. It's crisp, it's got a nice contrast, it looks like a book, and I would be happy to sit and read for extended periods of time using one of these. Yes, the software seems a little bit laggy at some points, and there's a couple of little pitfalls, such as where this is placed, and the fact that sometimes you can see a bit of text left on the screen from the previous page. But do you know what? These are all tiny little problems. As far as it goes, I've enjoyed using a Kindle, and I think I'm going to continue doing so. Of course, it doesn't replace all of this. I love the way all this looks, but this is a really handy device, especially if I'm going on holiday. So I mean, for 130 quid, to be able to take a ton of books with me is invaluable. So overall, I've really enjoyed using the Kindle Paperwhite. And that concludes today's review. Guys, if you liked today's video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you back for another episode of Stu's Reviews soon. Before you go, consider supporting me on my Patreon page by clicking here. It'll give you some great discounts on stuff I've reviewed and helps me to continue doing reviews. If you want to see some fun stuff, click here to see the highlights of Stu's Reviews. And, as a friendly reminder, click this button to subscribe.